There is a massive amount of customer value that's locked in our backend systems. And I want to talk through a bit of the technical approach for how to design a way to extract that data. And this problem is all about addressing the fact that we're managing our customer relationship data in Salesforce, our customer accounts, our sales and service processes. But as our customers become more established, we begin to accrue a ton of really valuable data in our other backend systems. And depending on your industry, this might include things like application databases, financial account backends, order management systems. And that's where that data belongs, of course. But there's some fantastic insights to glean out of all of that transactional data. This can tell us things like who's liable to churn, who might be a great prospect for an upsell, whatever your use case may be. And the question then becomes, how do we then take that key insight and bring that from our backend systems back inside of Salesforce so that our teams can take the right value-generating actions? And for the next few minutes, I want to share a bit of a 6-idea model for around how to connect and kind of bridge the gap between Salesforce to our backend systems, with Data Cloud being a big piece of the middle as to how to then connect these dots. Step 1 around this whole process is defining your use case. And in this case, it's what is our theory? What is it that we believe to be really insightful in our backend systems that we want to be extracting? Because we don't want to be planning for a solution that brings over everything. It's just not sustainable. It's going to be overkill for what we're hoping to achieve. So ideally, we want to be selective around what is the use case that we are looking to achieve in our CRM by leveraging key insights from the source. Now, I'm someone also then from a next step perspective is to then baseline where we're at. There's no sense in doing something if you don't know kind of where you're starting, because otherwise you won't really know if you succeeded. So if you have an idea around a use case to achieve, then take a look at exactly what is the baseline stat today that represents that case. And what is our current churn volume or by revenue or by period? If we're looking at customer growth, what is the percentage of growth inside of our existing customer database, et cetera, et cetera. Again, whatever best matches your requirements. From there, it's then to say, well, what are the source systems that we need to connect to then deliver on that use case? And of course, bring them into an environment that is going to help us process what we need. And in this case, I will be focusing on Data Cloud as a system that could be going ahead and doing so. Of course, it has the ability to ingest a wide variety of sources into a single unified database, which is amazing, which will allow us to then cut and process this data to, again, begin shaping this to deliver what we're after. So, of course, then documenting exactly which systems to bring in together and begin planning for your ingestion into your Data Cloud instance, in this case. The next step around this is then how is it we are either going to be segmenting or targeting our pool of data to begin shaping our population to best address our use case. Now, Data Cloud, of course, has the ability to run segmentation. It also has the ability to run things like calculated insights. So whether you're choosing to filter for specific segments of your population, or derive some kind of key insights that would then drive your use case, you have the ability to do so inside of Data Cloud. So beginning to define your criteria, and as well setting this up in advance around how we think we're going to cut this to meet our end goal. Once you've been able to do so, either by generating segments or by, again, calculating your key insights, is then to think about what are the best ways to action this data and then bring this back into our CRM. And that is the key piece I'm addressing in this conversation, is then how to bring this back inside the flow of work of our regular teams. And you have a few options. Leveraging some of the standard capabilities outside of Data Cloud, you could be doing things like seeing whether something like field copy or Data Cloud triggered flows could be one of your initial answers. Field copy, of course, lets us just essentially copy down data from specific values from Data Cloud into our CRM to enrich our records with key insights. And then from there, again, actioning that inside of our platform. If we need any more complex logic or automation to occur as we bring data in, Data Cloud triggered flows could be an excellent approach. And this is a way of triggering, again, some advanced logic based on Data Cloud's outputs. This is able to query both Data Cloud data and CRM platform, Salesforce data, to again yield a very interesting outcome. Additionally, if you need to be publishing actions or triggering other automations, whether this is going to occur inside of Salesforce, or if you need to then pass this automation along to any other subscribing system, you could consider something like a data action. A data action publishes essentially a platform event that could be then subscribed to, whether it be Salesforce again, to listen to its own platform events, or to have additional third-party systems subscribe to that event and then kick off whatever other related process. And then I'd say the last kind of action to consider is to then take your segmentation and then activate it, of course, into Marketing Cloud, one of the tried and true use cases for core Data Cloud. And one of the key attributes here to think about as well as you think about your action plan is also not just single channel, but potentially multi-channel actions or activations. Because if we take something like a customer upsell journey, for example, you may want to do something like enrich your Salesforce record to indicate that it is an upsell prospect, to automate some kind of in-platform process, but then also potentially to add that customer to a drip messaging journey. And that way you could simultaneously approach your customer with a multi-channel engagement overall plan, thereby overall increasing potentially the chances your customer is going to be exposed to the right message in the way they want it, and overall support your overall business goals. The last thing, of course, is if you, once you do take this plan and lay it out, is then evaluate your overall outcome. Because again, there's no sense in doing something if you don't know if you're successful. And so the last piece to plan for, from an overall strategic approach on a Data Cloud design, is taking a look at your reporting and analytics and your overall definition of success. These are all steps I'd recommend taking before you begin any implementation. Data Cloud is definitely a platform where having a sense of the overall objective before you begin implementation can be a better and more path for success. But with this, I hope this spurs some really great dialogue around, hey, how do you best kind of crack these really fun riddles? Enjoy this, and yeah, feel free to reach out with any questions.